Okay, I did my final project on Michael Jackson, the King of Pop. Table of contents, some things I'm gonna talk about is the Jackson 5, um, the King of Pop, and Michael's musical career, his personal life, his death, some interesting fun facts, and then the legacy that he left behind. All right, the Jackson 5. Michael Jackson was born on August 29th, 1958. He was one of 10 children to Joseph and Catherine Jackson. Um, his father formed a band, a singing group, with Michael and four of his brothers, Tito, Jermaine, Michael, Marlon, and Joseph. They signed with Motown Records in 1969, which was a big time record company. They recorded several hit songs in the 1970s. The most popular probably being I'll Be There and ABC. I'm sure the majority of people have heard them. And Michael was the lead singer and the most talented of the group, and he also was the youngest. So he got a lot of the spotlight. The picture on the left is one of their album covers, the Jackson 5 Ultimate Collection, and to the right is the Jackson 5, and Michael is in the middle. Alright, the King of Pop. Michael made his first solo hit in 1971, titled Got to Be There. He debuted his solo album Off the Wall, which sold over 20 million copies, which is crazy for his first solo album. In 1982, the album Thriller was released, and it still is the top selling album by a single artist. Thriller was. And in 1985, Michael co-wrote "We Are the World," and that was to help raise money for starving Africans. So he definitely cared about others, and so he co-wrote and sang that song, produced that song "We Are the World" to help raise money for Africans in need. In 1987, his album "Bad" came out and had four singles that hit number one on the charts, and that was a record for one album. So that was impressive. There's a couple pictures of Michael. The one on the left is from the Thriller video, which became popular. The middle is the cover art for his Bad album, and to the right is just Michael in the late 1990s. His famous dance, the moonwalk, became a huge hit. It was when he slid backwards, and it looked like he picked up his feet off the ground, but he slid in a cool way, and it was titled the moonwalk. So that was pretty popular. He was known for his dance moves just as much as his singing. Whenever he had a concert, whenever he was on stage, he was always moving, and he was an all-around entertainer and not just a singer. He continued to produce music, and he went on tour until his death in 2009. He was actually on tour. On his when he died, he was in the middle of a tour in 2009. In 1997, there was a survey that announced that he was the most popular person in the world. So he definitely had an impact on the world. There's a few pictures of Michael entertaining his fans, and the one in the middle and the one on the left is him doing the moonwalk, his famous moonwalk. Some things about his personal life. He was married and divorced twice. His first marriage to Elvis Presley's daughter, Lisa. He had 3 kids, Prince, Paris, and then the third one was known as Blanket. The first Prince and Paris were kids from his second wife, and Blanket is from an unknown. But he was charged of child molestation in 1993 by a 12-year-old boy, but he paid $25 million in the settlement, so he did not go to prison. He had several nose surgeries because he thought his nose was too big. Ever since he was a kid in the Jackson 5, he thought his nose was too big, and it is said that his dad always made fun of his nose for being so big, so he was always self-conscious of it. So he's had several nose surgeries. His death came on June 25th, 2009. He died in the bed of his rented California mansion. He died from a drug overdose, and later it was known that his doctor was found guilty of manslaughter because he was giving Michael too many pills. His funeral was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, where the many teams play and many concerts are held. So it's a big venue, and it was one of the biggest funerals ever. People like Stevie Wonder, Usher, Mariah Carey, his brother Jermaine, all sang and performed at his funeral. So, and there's a couple pictures. To the left, that's the stage and the little background in loving memory, and to the right, that's his brothers carrying Michael's casket. Some fun facts, some interesting things about Michael. He won 8 Grammys in 1984 in just 1 year, and that still is a record for the most Grammys in 1 year. His favorite number was 7. His Thriller album has the most sales ever for a single artist at 45 million. He was known to have a skin disease. It was called vitiligo, and that is why he, over time, turned white. It's only about 1% of the people have vitiligo. He has 2 stars in Hollywood on the Walk of Fame. And one of them is for himself, and one of them is with the Jackson 5. He owned a ranch in California, and it was known as Neverland Ranch. And he also had a love for animals, and he even owned a monkey at one point. And he also owned 2 llamas. So he was an animal lover and kept a lot of animals on his Neverland Ranch. The legacy Michael leaves behind. Although he did have an unusual, uncomfortable personality at times about him, he inspired millions through his voice and passion for what he loved to do. He loved his fans as much as anybody, and that is all he wanted in return. He was all about peace and making the world a better place, and he definitely did his best to spread that message. Michael will forever have a tremendous impact on people and will forever be crowned the king of pop. And there's Michael, doing what he does best. Thank you for watching.